let's talk a little bit about your career on the track. You know, some of the, not drag weeks, but tell us a little bit about, you put a fire suit on, you get in a fast car, and you do see competition. And what categories or what classes or venues do you race in?
Well, you're very kind to say fast car because Roxy, I mean, when you're at these drag and drive events, if you don't have 1,000 horsepower, what are you doing there? And it's kind of that feeling of like, man, like we can build these cars to drive on the street with 1,000, 1,200 horsepower, have AC, like just be incredibly daily driver cars. But Roxy right now, she's at about 620 at the tire. We did a boosted setup, and I mean, I got a Tremec, really sick stage 3 transmission. It's a standard car actually, so I have that kind of against me, but also street cred. Like if I go slower, at least I have the street cred of having a standard transmission and banging gears.
So I haven't seen many of your videos. Of course, I'll be tuning in the second I walk off the stage, but do you guys have a dyno in your shop? I did see that you do a lot of builds. You do a lot of the builds yourself, and you get in there and you got the welder going and you got the gloves on. But do you have a dyno? How does the engine procedure work? Do you get something in a crate and just drop it into something?
So we don't have a dyno. We usually build most of our engines ourselves, just get the machine work done and then put it together. And then we've got a couple shops that we use for the dyno tuning and stuff like that. We really don't tune a lot ourselves.
Do you have any projects here on the floor at SEMA?
No, we don't have any cars here this year. We've taken it really easy. I've just done one appointment a day, and then we've just been roaming around, seeing our friends, meeting with brands in there that we love working with, and it's been the best SEMA for us yet.
So give us an idea of what are some of the projects that you have that are in the shop right now that you're working on? Anything we can expect to come out of the garage doors anytime soon?
Yeah, so you'll see anything in our shop, from a John Deere tractor to us over at the airport working on our airplane. I mean, we just like anything with an engine. That's what we love. So one we're excited about this next year, we got a 57 Chevy. It's not a Bel Air, it's 2-door post car. And we're going to take that one, because typically what we do is we build driver quality cars. We build stuff we can go out and enjoy, and we don't have to stand by it and worry about somebody scratching it. But with this 57, we're actually going to make it nice because the car deserves it. It's really clean. So we're going to go through the whole paint process and suspension and all that.
So you talk about your diesel background. I mean, I walked around the show a little bit, and I see some of these conversions. I think I even saw a Lamborghini with a diesel engine in it. So does that tempt you to work on some type of a conversion that includes diesel power at some point?
Yeah, so I've done quite a bit of diesel power stuff. I've not done it more recently because we've been drag racing and stuff like that. But we do have a really cool 30-foot boat that we're thinking about doing a Duramax swap in.
So Emily, you talk a little bit about your racing ventures. Anything in the future? Do you look to move up? Do you look to continue to do some of the drag and drive events? I mean, where do you see that going along that would correspond with your car builds?
So I love those drag and drive events. The camaraderie there, when you're there and you're racing, it's like we're all in it together and everybody's rooting for each other. So those events are cool.
The main challenges before Monday.com was tracking data. Things were all living in different spaces, and with Monday.com, they're consolidated into one environment. I'm Francisco Javier Nunez, and I'm the president of Franken Design.
Doing more drag and drive events.
Give me a little more background. Of course, if you were talking to Brian Loans, he would know all about this. And of course, I spoke with Tom Bailey. I'm familiar with Sick Week, with of course Drag Week, because I live in Indianapolis, and of course he mentioned the 2,000 miles they just did on the West Coast. But give me a little background about this series.
So, I mean, you have a handful of drag and drive events, and they're all very different. I was talking to a group of ladies yesterday who are into GTRs and drag racing, and they have a goal of making one of these drag and drive events, and they were saying, which one would you choose? And I would have a really hard time choosing which one. You have Rocky Mountain Race Week, where you're up in the mountains, and it's beautiful, and it's very hard on the car, but also the sense of accomplishment has got to be up there. We haven't done the Rocky Mountain Race Week in the mountains yet. Then you have Sick Week, and of course, like anything with Tom Bailey is going to be wild. So we did Sick Week as a sick ward patient, where we took our tool truck along with like a welder and all kinds of spare parts and tools. And that's a really cool thing about Sick Week, is you can go as a sick ward participant where you just travel along with the racers and you can help them along the way. And that's a really cool element that Tom Bailey has done with that event. But then Hot Rod Drag Week, you know, they started the drag and drives, and that one's just a classic experience, because all day you're hearing Freiberger and Loans on the loudspeaker calling out these cars, and they just have such a chemistry, the two of them, like they're just legends. And that experience of Drag Week that's all where it started for us and for the Drag and Drive events. So, I mean, if I had to choose, I'd probably say Hot Rod Drag Week, but Sick Week has so many good qualities, and Rocky Mountain Race Week is badass too. So, man, if you're into them, just do them all.
Yeah, it sounds like quite the variety. What is it that triggers the creative part of a car build? What is the process like when you select a car? Is it something you see? Do you see it in a magazine? Where does it start?
Perfect question for Aaron.
Yeah, I think we definitely see it. Other people doing stuff online. Then I think all of us have kind of just a inherent interest in certain things. Because my collection goes from Datsuns to the 57 Bel Air. I mean, it's just there's certain things about certain projects that just, pull something out of us. I don't know how else to say it. And as far as creativity, it's just something, that you see from other people and that you want to do. A lot of it has to do with your mission. It's like, what are you going to do with this car? And for us, it's adventure. You were asking about drag racing a minute ago. It's like, we're not trying to compete with anybody. She might be competing with herself to get better. The whole thing for us is just having fun and enjoying it and showing other people that they can enjoy it too. There's a way to get into this at any point.
Now, how do you see it? Do you see it that it's something you want to get in and drive after, or are some of these just going to end up at an auction after you're done?
Oh man, like our cars that we buy, they become family members. We put our blood, sweat, and tears into them, and we adventure in them, and then it's like, we rarely sell something. We just keep on accumulating, and we need a warehouse now because we love all of them, and they're parts of our life. I don't know, and it's really cool that being able to have the channel, and it's like we have the best excuse ever to just buy it because we love it and we want it and make it our own, and it's a really, really special thing because it inspires other people to do the same. It's awesome.
So you call Texas home, and this is your home and your garage and your shop? Is this all on the same premises?
It pretty much is, yes.
There's no better way to do it. Just tell lastly before we get up to stage, where can our viewers? Is it still Flying Sparks Garage on YouTube?
It is Flying Sparks Garage, yeah. And we're of course on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff too.
Where can we find you on Instagram, on social media?
So on Instagram it's Flying Sparks Garage, and then we both have personal Instagram accounts. Aaron's is Pilot Reeves, and mine is I'm Emily Reeves. And then, on YouTube, Flying Sparks Garage, and there's playlists of all of our builds. Everything from the tractors to the boats to the airplanes to all the different types of vehicles that we love. So everyone should go check it out.
Well, Aaron, I can tell you that I will be checking out some of that content. I grew up around trucks and diesel and heavy equipment, so I'll be checking out a little bit of your background. But thank you guys for dropping by.
Thank you for having us.
And best of luck on this Marathon SEMA show. Aaron and Emily Reeves, Flying Sparks Garage. Take a look at them. And don't go far. We got a couple of more guests, and we may have the loans back.